On this episode of Taskforce Geek, we celebrate Star Wars Day. We discuss Captain America 4, we look back at what might have been with Battlestar Galactica, and we remember the work of John Paul Leon, and that's all coming up now. Hey, welcome to Taskforce Geek. My name is Dirk Hooper, and today I am joined by Sean.
Yep.
There he is right there. And Walt.
May the 4th be with you.
Ah, very good. That's the thing that's going on today. It's just the three of us for right now. We're supposed to be joined by Scott at some time. He's at a school function or something. He just said that there's going to be more people involved in that presentation than he was expecting. So we don't know if he's going to be joining us in 30 minutes, like he said, or if it's going to be much longer, we don't know. So for right now, it's the three of us, and that's better than last week, which we weren't on. Just so everyone knows, I had some issues last week. They're still kind of on top of me a little bit. I would say I'm about 90% done with this, and I hope that I don't step back. It had to do with the vaccine that I took. And if anyone wants to talk about that, you're welcome to DM me and I'll tell you more. I would say that my reaction was definitely not in the brochure. No one said that this stuff was going to happen, and yet it did. I don't want to get into that so much, but again, if you're having some issues or something, you're welcome to DM me and I'll talk to you about it and tell you what happened with me. So there you go. So we all took off, Sean took off 2 weeks ago and I took off this week. What are you going to do? Okay. So we are broadcasting. Wait a minute. We already got some stuff coming in. We are broadcasting live from my Facebook account, which is that right there. And on YouTube, that right there, and on Twitch, of course. And I'd like to ask you, if you're watching us live, then please share this on your platform, because then your platform becomes our platform. You've heard this before, but it still applies. Please share the stuff out there, and then we'll start getting some notes. That thing is all over you, Sean. What are we going to do with that? Let's do this. What do you think about that? This is our big fat faces right in the middle of the thing.
That's good.
You like it?
Yeah.
All
sure.
Right. Hey, Steve says Happy Star Wars Day.
May the 4th be with you too.
May the 4th be with you. And Ronnie says good evening, y'all.
Good evening there, Ronnie.
Nice of you guys to drop by. We sure do appreciate it.
I really do like that May the 4th be with you, because I do like to talk in lists at sometimes.
How long is that thing? How long has that thing been around?
Just
a few years.
Yeah,
it's not too long.
I think it had to do with a Star Wars premiere came out on that day one time. I guess it was
maybe The Force Awakens was the first Star Wars thing.
Long before then.
You think it was before then?
Yeah,
if anyone wants to do some research on this subject, I'd be interested.
I think it became a big thing when Force Awakens came out, and they decided, hey, let's just make this an annual thing.
Well, it's called marketing, folks.
Yeah, this is true.
And that's actually our first subject. We're going to go to that right now.
I really do like that bass.
You like that?
Yeah.
You said that sounded pretty good on your television when you watched the episode. It
sounded awesome on my television.
Let's see what else we got here. Well, Gary says he's here to give his unwanted opinions.
Say that in the list, Gary.
We want your opinions, man. And Steve says thud up.
He's speaking in lisp. Thud up.
Heath lisping?
He's lisping.
Hey, it's May the 4th. It's the big day. I was talking to Walt right before the deal, and I said, they're kind of light on news. They have a lot of, things, and, you guys can cover this. the thing that I think is the biggest news that came out today, besides some shorts and stuff that are on Disney Plus, is this right here. And I'm going to let's see if I can add this to the stream and make this happen. So here we go. Here it comes. All right. Well, so that is what that is what they're calling a real lightsaber. That is not an effect. They're saying that is the way that this lightsaber functions. It actually retracts and it goes out just like a real lightsaber. And you can see that thing there. That's pretty cool, right?
That's pretty cool.
I looked at the mechanics.
Yeah. What do you think, man?
You're not going to want to be whacking it on nothing.
It's not substantial, is it?
That's what I kind of figured.
In fact, one of the sites that I was looking at for the background on this illustrated, picture if you can, 2 tape measures side by side with an LED in the middle, and it raises up, comes down, flexible, bendy. You go to whack somebody with this, it's just going to wrap around them. It's not. This is not combat ready.
It's mostly for that look of putting the saber out there.
Yeah, that's why if you look at in the video, the handle, the grip itself is just massive.
I have to go back and look at that.
It's a beast. It is not a. Now, the girl might be an Oompa Loompa. I don't know, but it looked like it was just a massive.
It looks like a normal
massive. So yeah, there's a lot of mechanics
normal
going
hot
on.
Star Wars girl
that that help create the illusion of the lightsaber expanding and retracting. So
I think one of the most interesting things about this is not even the lightsaber, but it's a feature of what they're calling the Galactic Starcruiser experience, which is something they talked about a long time ago, where apparently it's like a murder mystery type thing, like where you go into an old mansion or something, and all of the people that are in there and you are members of, you have like a persona or something that you portray during the course of this thing, and then all this stuff happens around you and you have things that you're supposed to be doing over the course of it. This is that taken to the next level, because it's supposed to be like a hotel that you kind of lock yourself into, and while you're in there, you're in this immersive Star Wars environment where you get to play some character and all of this other crazy stuff happens. And the point was supposed to be that they were supposed to have like, battles and stuff in there with like, laser blasts that you could see. And of course, this lightsaber is a part of that to make it look, legitimately like someone's activating a lightsaber or something. I don't know. But I think that's pretty interesting. What do you guys think about, going to Disney World and hanging out for a weekend in Star Wars World?
I'm not thinking about that at this moment. Because, it's already super expensive just to do one day at Disney World or Land/World. I don't know. It's one of those things when I see it,
you'll make the evaluation.
I'll make the evaluation.
The cost benefit analysis.
Right.
Prior to this whole event that occurred last year, I was already set.
I know you were ready to go.
Yeah.
and then that happened, and then of course that took money out of my pocket, and then I had to dip into it.
The domino effect.
Right. So now I'm sitting here kind of twiddling my thumbs going, I'll figure it out. I'm going. I will just say it right now. I am going at some point. I don't care how much it costs. Don't care.
Yeah,
You don't care about the cost.
I'll take out a second mortgage. I don't care. I'll spend a week. I'll spend a week there just, farting around, because that's my world. I would love to see a life-size X-Wing.
That and the Millennium Falcon tour.
Don't they have a full size?
I believe they've got
Poe Dameron.
Yeah,
X-Wing.
Current gen. I believe so. I believe they've got.
I don't know if you can get. I don't know if you can get up next to it. I don't know why they'd even have it if they didn't let you get next to it.
I know that previously at the Star Wars experience in Disney, I think it was at Epcot. It might have been at Epcot. Anyway, they had a life-size AT-AT. They've got a life-size biker scout bike that you can get on and take photos and whatnot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I've actually got photos of that somewhere.
And of course they have a Millennium Falcon in the.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Right. I'm pretty sure that there's something out there that they're going to let you sit in the cockpit and have your picture taken. And I mean,
here's a helmet just to make it look official.
It'll be just like an air show. Because I mean, you can do that at air shows. You can go sit in, certain planes. You can go sit in the cockpit
and have your picture taken.
Yeah, and those actually fly, and they come with complete instructions with "Don't touch that ejection seat handle." So yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's there.
I've heard that they are truncating some of that, the experience that they have where you go and into the Imperial Star Destroyer, or the New Republic, or whatever it's called, the new version of their Star Destroyers. They've taken off the beginning. They're going to take off the beginning of that deal where you hear from BB-8 and all of those. Do you remember the thing? Because Sean and I looked at all of those things when it first came out, where people were walking through it. Well, apparently, I guess because of the pandemic, they're kind of shortening that so that people don't stand in lines or whatever. But there's also some rumors that maybe they're going to start putting some Mandalorian style characters, or like the Razor Crest or something like that in there to appease those of us who kind of dig that.
They need to. They need to.
Because they leaned heavily on the new series, and the new episodes kind of fell a little flat. And of course, Disney. The only thing that matters to Disney is money.
Money, right?
And if they feel like putting a little baby Yoda walking around out there,
they're maybe
there's going to be a damn baby Yoda out there, and there's going to be the Mandalorian and everything except Gina Carano.
I wouldn't be too shocked about.
I wouldn't either.
A reappearance.
You think there's a possibility that they're gonna go back on that?
Here's my thing on that is, despite Gina Carano's attitude and everything that she was doing off the screen, which I don't agree with, I'll just put it that way. That character is an important character, and I mean, if the Family Guy can deal with James Woods, just do a thing where Gina Carano's just going around going, "Ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy."
Family Guy had Rush Limbaugh on there.
Yeah,
I mean, in a pretty, whatever, respectful and interesting episode. I mean,
yeah, respectful yet still taking a pot shot at him.
oh, I mean, you're gonna take your pot shots.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be on Family Guy as anything and not take your shots.
And everything about James Wood on Family Guy is a pot shot at James Wood. I just dropped off the screen.
Sean, Gina
There we go.
Carano, you got?
Yes.
You think that she's coming back?
I think she's coming back. I
think
can't
she's coming
imagine. Look, they're already. There's already talk about they've what is it? They're going to reintroduce her toy line, her action figures. There's already discussions about how I believe she's in a Nat Geo episode with Bear Grylls that
Right.
originally they had taken off of Disney Plus that they're reinserting back into Disney Plus. All of the hyperbole that was going on, literally all the rumor, all the conjecture, all the BS that was going on behind the scenes regarding Gina Carano. I think a lot of that has to do with a certain employee of Lucasfilms that is probably not going to be with Lucasfilms much longer, and I believe that once that person is being escorted out of the building, Gene is coming in probably at the same time. So
I mean, you could say it. You're talking about Kathleen Kennedy.
yeah,
Kathleen,
yeah.
When does her contract expire? September, October?
I want to say it was November, but I could be wrong. It might be earlier.
I originally thought it was sometime this summer, but apparently that's not the case.
But I think once she's gone and every misstep that she has made over the past 5-6 years, all of that's going to get erased because she clearly doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
Hello, Dave Filoni.
Well, I mean, if that does happen, obviously that's not an announcement they made today.
I mean, I'd even take Jon Favreau. Either of those two guys.
I think that
rumors
those
I
two
heard
guys are
was-
probably where the future of Star Wars lies. Possibly.
One of the rumors I've read is that Jon Favreau is going to be head of Lucasfilm.
Dude.
I don't know.
I don't know
With
either.
Dave Filoni as his right-hand man.
Being that the internet only tells you the truth, nothing but the truth. What more can I assume from such articles?
That you just reminded me of an old Garfield.
Just truthosity.
That just reminds me of old Garfield cartoon.
Thank you, Mom.
Hello, Betty. With
Betty says that you're all looking good, man. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
We're doing it. We're bringing it.
Full force in effect. Taskforce in effect.
So I got one more Star Wars question, and everyone has to realize that all of this came together like in the last hour and a half. These guys have no preparation or anything whatsoever. This is basically just as much a surprise for Walt and Sean as it is for you.
I'm good with it.
So here's the question to these two and to anyone who's watching, and that is, what is your all-time favorite Star Wars creation? So it doesn't have to be a movie. It doesn't have to be a television show. It could be a comic if you wanted to. What's your all-time favorite thing? I will go first, since I got to let you guys think about it for just a second.
Oh, I got it.
My thought on this is, I guess I got a few things. Nothing will ever beat the original Star Wars movie for me, just because of impact, and because of my age when I saw it, and because of how different it was, and how influential it was, and how much of a cultural revolution it created. And I know people hear that and they're thinking like, oh yeah, they had a cultural revolution with Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or something. But if you think that you didn't live around that time, you don't know. Star Wars really radically changed not just movies, but the entire entertainment industry. Toys, how movies are marketed, how they're sold, special effects, everything that the Marvel Cinematic Universe wouldn't exist without Star Wars. The Harry Potter franchise movies wouldn't exist without Star Wars. The Lord of the Rings movies wouldn't exist without Star Wars. Every major blockbuster and the theaters that they are played in, due to THX and a lot of standards that were created by Lucas, and Spielberg pushed very hard to improve theaters in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Nothing was ever the same after Star Wars. Everything changed. So it's going to be difficult for me to pick something other than Star Wars. The original movie, I say Star Wars: A New Hope, which was named A New Hope after the fact. As far as if you want to remove that from the bin, I think as far as the recent movies, Rogue One was really, really, really excellent. I mean, just super solid from every angle that you can imagine. Story, the characters, the actors, the production, everything was really well done, very tight. And if we'd never seen Star Wars before, and all of those characters were all, and the situation was all introduced, it would have started a new, fire, just from that one movie, I think. Besides that, I said a long time ago, before, Disney took over this thing, that Clone Wars was the best thing since Empire Strikes Back that came out of Star Wars, the Clone Wars series. That animated series done by Dave Filoni, we were just talking about him just a minute ago, was really a love letter to Star Wars fans in exactly the way that The Mandalorian is and everything else that guy touches, because not only is he like a Star Wars historian, but he's also a big fat Star Wars fan, just like everyone else. And so he poured all of that into season after season of Clone Wars, and made me love some characters that I didn't like so much from the movies, like Anakin in the Clone Wars series. I thought was really excellent. Became a favorite character on there. So he took some pretty weak sauce stuff and made it, I think, really he took it up to the next level. So I would say that Clone Wars, if we're outside of the movies, was probably my favorite Star Wars property. So next I'm going to go to who said they had it?
I got mine.
All right, I'm going to go to you next, Paul.
Okay, so I'm going to agree with you with the first Star Wars movie, but I'm not going to, since everybody's going to say the first Star Wars movie. I mean, for me, it was it was because me and my cousin wanted to go see Pete's Dragon and not whatever this Star Wars movie was. We had no idea what this Star Wars movie was.
I remember Pete's Dragon.
Because Pete's Dragon was out at the same time.
Yeah.
And which Disney movie, by the way.
And Laser Blast.
And so, and I'm going to try and keep this short, but we were in this long ass line at I think it was Midwest City, the mall over there in Midwest City.
Yeah. Is it Heritage?
I don't remember what it was. Anyway,
Sean?
we were near the end of the line, and we wound up getting the first two seats in the front row, and we did not want to sit in the front row for this movie that we did not want to see. And our parents, you know, my mom and dad and his mom, my aunt and uncle are sitting behind us, and we're just complaining and bitching about having to see whatever this movie is about because we wanted to go see Pete's Dragon. And fanfare, you know, 20th century fanfare, and then the whole music and the scroll. We're not even paying attention to the scroll because we're like 6 years old and we still want to see Pete's Dragon. And I'm going to emphasize that Pete's Dragon thing. And we're just bitching and bitching and bitching. And then next thing you know, we hear the laser blast going off and these spaceships going on. And we were like, and we sat there like this. We sat there like that until Darth Vader made his appearance. And me and my cousin looked at each other. We turned and looked at each other. My cousin looked at me and he goes, "That dude is bad." So I'm going to leave it at that. And from then on, we were Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
But my next favorite thing from Star Wars was later on in the 80s was the Star Wars arcade game. Remember the Star Wars arcade game?
Ah, yeah.
With the vector graphics.
With the vector graphics.
Oh my Lord! I played that nonstop when it came
I used to ditch class for that game. My specifically
you
my
sat
senior
in a
year.
cabinet.
Yes.
You know, with the control, so it was like kind of like getting in an X-wing.
Yeah. So, and Mom, I only did this 3 times.
Yeah, you're in trouble. You're in trouble if your mom is watching, Walt.
So I only did this 3 times. But I would go in around lunchtime with 1 quarter. Spend that quarter on a token at Le Mans, at Midway Valley's Le Mans.
Yeah.
I would spend 1 quarter for one token, and I would be there from lunchtime on 1 quarter until it was time to go home from school.
Wow.
Yes. And I still don't know who this person is. So if this person is still alive and kicking, whose initials were ETA, me and him were always going at it. So never met the guy, but we're talking like 10 million, 20 million points each. And I think one time it got up to, I think by the time when I was to the point where I was about to really take him out, he had put something like 12 million points on the game.
Oh my Lord.
And I turned around and put 13. And then apparently this guy decided that he was going to be there the whole day and put 31 million points on the machine.
Oh, wow.
And I never had a chance to break that 31 million points.
You would have had to be there when they opened.
Exactly. I never had a chance to break that 31 million points. The closest I came to that 31 million was 18. And I got there as soon as school let out. And I played until the mall closed.
Wow.
And they just shut off the machine. I was on that machine for so long. They just shut off the machine. So whoever ETA is out there, initials ETA, I never got to beat his score. Wow. And right now in my older age, I don't think I could do it. I don't think my fingers could accomplish that. So that's my second. Actually, other than Star Wars, the actual Star Wars movie, that's my number one Star Wars product that ever came out there.
That's a good one, man. That's a good choice. Okay, Sean, you're up, man.
Well, let me start off with my own little memory of the original Star Wars, since we seem to be taking that path. I remember at this time I lived in California, Long Beach, California, where I was born. And I remember sitting in front of the gigantic console TV that every household in the early 70s had, and I remember the trailer for Star Wars and saying, "Oh, we need to go to that." And of course, Mom and Dad are like, "Whatever, I gotta see that crap." Anyway, we went to a drive-in. All the time. We always went to the drive-in.
That's funny.
That way, if I got out of line, Dad didn't have to reach far to get a hold of me. Dad had a thing about being embarrassed in public, and this way he could contain my rowdiness. And sitting there in the drive-in, watching the epicness of what I'm viewing, it really set something off for me. I can honestly say that as far as the movie goes, whenever I was little, I didn't really bond with the movie
Ken.
so much as I did everything about the movie. The comic books, the LP audio play of the movie. I had the belt buckle. I had the necklace.
Oh God, I had a belt buckle. I had a necklace.
There was an X-wing necklace. There was an R2-D2 necklace.
There was a Darth Vader.
I never got the Darth Vader because Darth Vader didn't do anything for me. If they had a stormtrooper, I'd have been all over that.
I think I had an X-wing necklace. It was the height of fashion.
At that period, there was a lot of things that came out that really focused Star Wars for me. But
Kansas Twins.
I didn't really get into the movie until later in life. Once I actually sat down and I could comprehend what it was I was seeing, and at that point, my dad and I had really gotten into the visual effects aspect of film, and so I went into the movie with quite a bit more intrigue as to how they did things and so on and so forth. And that's really when I started to appreciate the movie as it was, or what it was, and what it did for our generation. One of my favorite memories as a kid when that movie came out. I remember I was in the second grade, and my dad, who worked nights, he had gotten off work. I was in second grade. I was in class. My dad came in, took me out of class, had some story. Don't remember what that story was. Something about my aunt being in the hospital or something. I don't remember. Anyway, she wasn't in the hospital, by the way. Just want to. We left, and he just wanted to spend the day with me. And we went and got lunch. We just hung out. We're driving around just enjoying the day. And we happened to drive by a movie theater. It was playing Star Wars. He said, "Well, it's already started." And I'm like, "I don't care." And we went in, and literally we went in and sat down right after Darth Vader had come onto the blockade runner. And that was one of the greatest days with my dad that I had. It was absolutely, magical for me. That also solidified the Star Wars in my world, as it were. And then, of course, like I said, as I got older, I started to understand things more. I started to get into it more. I started to read the comics more. I started reading the novels. Really getting into multiple viewings, because at that point there were bootlegs on VHS, and watched that until I tore up the tape. And then then the video stores started popping up. Oh, well, let's buy a copy. And I want people to understand that when VHS tapes first came out, you didn't just buy a VHS tape of a movie. That one VHS tape cost, if I remember right, it was like $120.
Yeah.
for that one VHS tape.
Yeah, that was not
imagine going
4K.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine going to a retail store and saying, "I want to pick up the latest."
It was about half a K.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
pick up the latest MCU Blu-ray. Oh, well, that's going to be $150.
Right.
You just didn't do it. But at that time, that's what they were. They
Yeah.
cost that much money. Anyway,
Yep.
I digress. Love Star Wars. Absolutely love Star Wars. It's just, unfortunately for a lot of people, I am not on the side of the rebellion. I do favor the Empire. What can I say? Those stormtrooper costumes are just absolutely fab. Anyhow, the as far as what is my favorite thing from Star Wars, it's hard for me to put my finger on any one particular portion. I mean, ILM, absolutely fantastic. Didn't exist until Star Wars. They made a completely separate division just to figure out how to do what George Lucas wanted on film.
Yep.
Never been done before. That was something completely. And ILM itself became a huge juggernaut in the film industry. But my favorite thing, I have to go to the toys. And my favorite of the toys, if I can, should have set this up already and I didn't do it. Why didn't I do it? My favorite of all of this stuff was the Star Wars Micro Collection.
Oh, really?
If you ever had seen these or got a hold of these things were fantastic.
I remember those.
They weren't movable. These are die-cast metal figures painted. Not even painted all that great. These play sets and everything, I had all of these because my parents loved me. This was an extra deal that you had to send for. And I got 2 of these because my parents loved me. But these things were fantastic. They were so much fun and so easy to lose.
God, I'd forgotten about those little die-cast things.
I loved these things, and I played with these. I can't even begin to tell you how many hours I invested into these things.
That's funny.
I played with these things like crazy.
Those were even smaller than the regular action figures.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Action figures were
They were
what,
quite
3.5
literally
inches tall or something, and these things were okay.
The die-cast metal, they were roughly an inch tall. Roughly an inch tall. I mean, they were God, they were so small. And I lost things. I chipped things. I tried to repaint, and you're a kid. You're playing with these things. You're going to screw them up, and I did. I screwed them up so bad. One of these days, whenever I'm filthy, stinking rich, I will hunt everything down, and I will
you collect
them.
all of those.
Oh,
Yeah. You can start at Holocron Toys down here in Fort Worth.
Oh, yes. And I will. When I
Ken
have money.
says, not even a good bad guy. Is he talking about Vader?
I don't know.
I missed what that was about. What are you talking about, Ken? And then Ashell says, all I know is that I had to wear my hair like Princess Leia to school all the time. I can't imagine that was very easy to do. I mean, isn't that a pretty complex? What do you split it down the middle and then you twist it and then roll it or something? I don't know.
It looks have like a lot of hair to get those big
looks
giant buns.
Complex.
Yeah.
I kept telling myself if I ever had a kid, it didn't have the choice. That child was going to be a Jawa for Halloween. It didn't have a choice. It was going to be a Jawa. The wife Didn't have a choice. The child was going to be a Jawa. It was going
some point.
to happen. Unfortunately, I haven't had a kid yet. So
Scott's not here, but his idea was for him to be Luke Skywalker. I think we've talked about this on Halloween. For him to be Luke Skywalker and have one of his kids as Yoda on his back or whatever.
see, that would have been cool.
From Empire
would've been
Strikes
cool.
Back. It's pretty good.
That would've
Pretty
been
good
cool.
routine. The best one of those I've ever seen is where like a dad played like that loader from Aliens
Oh yeah,
and had his little
baby
kid
yeah.
in the little cockpit there.
Yeah, I remember that one. That one was cool.
that was insane dad technology there.
I'd seen a couple of at some of the conventions, like a brother and sister duo, and they were Luke and Leia.
That's cool.
And little Luke and Leia outfits.
Yeah.
So I've even seen some little tiny Chewbacca's.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Russell, hello Russell, says, I have a huge box of the old Micro Machine Star Wars that they stopped making. Still in the packaging. He never got it out of there. That could be worth it.
You should
That could
shop
be worth
those
some money.
around. You should
That
shop
could be
those
worth some
around.
money. Wasn't it Russell that had the Star Wars comic, like multiple copies of like the first appearance of Boba Fett or something? Russell apparently is sitting on a small fortune of Star Wars merch. Ronnie says, I am sorry in advance. Star Wars did nothing for me. Only thing that was cool was the lightsaber. Well, you're dead to us.
Yeah. DED.
DED. Totally dead. All right. Well, we have talked the crud out of May the 4th, and I think we're going to move on to the next deal here. What do you think about that?
Let's do it.
All right. Then here it comes. So, we weren't around last week, and a lot of Marvel, for whatever reason, which is attached to Disney as well. Disney's having their moment, man. Marvel has had a lot of announcements on different stuff, and one of them is that they're going to do a Captain America 4 movie. The head writer and creator, of Disney Plus and Marvel's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is developing a fourth installment of the Captain America film franchise for Marvel Studios. Spellman, who is the guy who wrote and produced the series, will co-write the script with Dalen Mewson, a staff writer on Falcon and Winter Soldier. The feature is likely to continue the story of Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, and the current wielder of the shield. But as the writers get to work, it will be interesting to see how the story unfolds, with there now being multiple people who have been Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No directors attached, and Chris Evans' involvement return remains unconfirmed. Marvel was tight-lipped as usual.
Might I propose? The whole reason why Chris Evans left the shield of Captain America was to direct. Let him direct it.
Oh,
There you go.
what? Hey, I don't think I've heard anyone say that.
I am not opposed to that.
That's a pretty good.
Let's give him the shot.
I think that would make a lot of people happy.
He could
To have
still
you
stay
behind the camera.
involved, but be behind the camera.
Yeah.
Not bad. That's
And who
pretty
better?
interesting.
And
I mean, honestly.
and on top of that, he could make a cameo as old Cap,
He could.
because
He could.
in the comics, Sam Wilson did go to old Steve for advice, because old Steve was still around.
Right. What do you think they're going to cover in this?
I have no idea.
Well,
Me neither.
one of the articles that I was reading said that I didn't understand. Excuse me, I didn't understand if they were talking about Captain America 4, if they were talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was very
Vague.
Yeah, it was a poorly written article. Poorly.
There's so many of those.
There's a lot of those.
What's wrong with you people? You go to college to learn how to write. Right.
Did they go to college?
I don't know. They probably have a Twitter account, and that's all they Anyway, the article that I read, I thought they were talking about Captain America, and they were talking about the writer had gotten together a group of all black writers to further emphasize that experience of Sam Wilson, which, rock and roll. I think that's, we got a bit of that with Black Panther, and that's just a small portion. We need more of that. We need more of that type of I don't want to say inclusion, but that type of
something different
projection. I mean, there's a lot of lived experiences that my German ass isn't familiar with everybody else's. So
you said it right. We just need more of that experience.
Right.
I mean, you can call it inclusion or experience. Either way, technically it's the same thing.
Whenever they touched on that in the episode where Bucky is taken to jail and so on, I know a lot of people took that as being very social justice warrior-ish. I didn't take it that way. It really was.
I didn't either.
I thought that it was really very timely, because I know that it's over a year old at the time that it was released.
And me personally having that experience, like that that is exactly what happens. I mean, I've had that same situation before, and I just went, oh, hey, they touched on that. Okay, cool.
I would like to see more of that type of inclusion. Look, whenever I grew up as a kid, my favorite shows. This is really gonna. If I wasn't dated before,
I know what you're gonna say.
if it didn't date me before, it's gonna date me now. Some of my favorite shows were Sanford and Son. Some of my favorite shows were What's Happening.
What's Happening? I love What's Happening.
The Jeffersons.
Good times. The Jeffersons.
Because nothing had to do with
the Cosby Show.
Man, Cosby Show.
I know you're not supposed to.
The thing
speak
about
his name.
The thing about those shows back in the day, it wasn't. How do I want to put this without sounding like a complete whack job? Nothing had to do with race. It just had to do with their experience in the world.
Right.
Exactly.
And
I never felt preached to, and those shows were political. There were moments.
There
were moments that they went right. They went at it in a way that is not being done with truth and honesty and really picking at the sore. They do not do that now. They're so politically correct now that they can't even really discuss it in the frank way that they did back then.
Right. And that's what I'd really like to see. But
it wasn't preachy.
I don't want to see anything, as you say, preachy, but I would love to just throw myself into that world that I've not been in, I've not experienced, but maybe just a little bit when I went to Spencer Schools. I was way too pale to be going to Spencer Schools. Way too pale. I got my... Never mind. I'm not going to go down that road.
Michelle wants to know if those shows are from the 60s.
Come on, Michelle.
It's not now. Come on now.
Come on.
Don't make
those
me
shows
reach to the internet.
From the late 70s to the mid 80s.
Yeah, don't make me reach to the internet, Michelle.
Trying to hurt my feelers. But so I would love to see something along that lines. I would love to see more about Sam's Creole family. I would love to see more of.
And And you know what's interesting about that is they changed that from the comics too, because he grew up in like Brooklyn or something like that in the comics.
I was going to say, I want to say he was
Is that right?
either New York or Chicago.
And Anthony Mackie lives in New Orleans, so that was a
so
perfect
he influenced
change.
that.
I got a feeling he influenced that.
See,
which I think is perfect. It makes to me it makes better sense than having him growing up in the South, as opposed to him growing up in Brooklyn neighborhood.
It's a lot more interesting.
Yeah,
it was a different setting and pretty cool.
And one of the things I think I touched on last time I was on was I've been a huge fan of Anthony Mackie, going back to when I think I first saw him. I want to say the first time I ever saw him and realized who he was 8 Mile with Eminem, and watching him, kind of grow as an actor.
You want to know what my first time seeing him in a movie was? Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
He was I don't want to say sidekick, but
he was the slave. Yeah, he was the slave. Yeah, he was Abraham Lincoln's sidekick. Yeah, that's my first time seeing Anthony Mackie. That's my first time seeing Anthony Mackie.
Remember that. See, but even that's a badass character.
That movie is badass. I love that movie.
That was just fun. That's a fun movie.
Great. By the way, I'm telling everybody, watch that movie. If you haven't seen it, watch that movie. You'll have a great time. But yeah,
very good.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Anthony Mackie. Like I said, that's the first time I ever saw him. And then the other movie with him and Michael Wahlberg and The Rock, the bodybuilder, which is based on a true story. That's a good movie there too.
Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain. Yeah.
That was a Michael Bay movie, wasn't it?
Michael Bay.
It was. Yeah, like with no explosions.
No, there had to be an explosion in there.
There was a lot of gunfire.
There was, yes.
Something had to have blown up.
Yeah.
A Zeppelin or something overhead.
Actually, that was a pretty good movie. About Captain America 4, I've mentioned this several times. I want more series, and I want a movie. Well, I'm getting my movie. So I'm happy about that. I hope I hope I don't get a movie instead of another series. I really want I really want the team of Captain America and whatever,
Winter Soldier, whatever
and the White Wolf, if we're going to call him that.
I think he's going to be the White Wolf.
I think so too.
I don't think. I think
they said that they wanted to do that.
Yeah,
and they just didn't. They didn't pull the trigger because they thought it would be too confusing.
If they do a second season, I think there'll be more focus on that. But
I want to see those two as often as I can, and again, they have taken, some characters that were not the big focus, and have made them my favorite characters.
Yeah,
well, I was going to say Sebastian Stan and his portrayal of Bucky
are
probably
good.
With the exception of,
I just felt for both those guys so much.
With the exception of Chris Evans, Captain America, whom I did not like Captain America going into
neither.
that.
I was not a Captain America fan.
Bucky is probably one of my favorite. His arc so far has just been,
amazing.
God. I love this character.
And this series really put a cap on that and for a new direction. So So technically, I would say in my opinion, we're done with the Winter Soldier thing, and I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Bucky ends up in the Wakanda series, and we get to see him in the White Wolf outfit.
I would not be surprised at that at all.
I was about to mention and I know I'm going to say this wrong. Please correct me. The Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje. Yeah, that's close.
I want a Dora Milaje series, and I would absolutely love to have Bucky either
a side character,
charge, or
he would be a side. Yeah, he would be a side. He would have to be a side character in a Dora.
Didn't he lead him? Or am I thinking? Or he led the local guard or something.
Yeah.
I think he served the purpose of Black Panther for a while.
No, not
Is that not true?
That's
They
not true.
they had kind of like a what I would call like a SWAT team
Yeah,
that
that he
watched
was in.
over Wakanda, and he was in charge of that,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's that. I would love
and
to
then
see that
and
in there.
and there was always a little beef between he and T'Challa. There was always a little bit of beef. From what I recall from the last season of the Avengers cartoon, uh, White Wolf had left Wakanda and had become some sort of like a thief.
Mm.
So there's no telling where they. I mean, they could go anywhere with that. I mean, but
Yeah.
he was even though he had become a thief of some sort or whatever, he was still dedicated to protecting Wakanda no matter what. So
See, and I'd like to see more of that.
I mean, they kind of
touched
did
on
a
it,
lot
but-
for him.
yeah,
I mean, they removed the programming and gave him a vibranium arm.
he owes them a lot.
So yeah, I mean, he owes them really everything.
Yeah. So I see Bucky becoming somewhat of a protector of Wakanda.
Yeah.
You know,
I can't wait to see where they take him.
Michelle
can't
says
either.
she loves Michael Bay movies.
Who
they're
doesn't?
good. I mean,
They're
they're.
just fun. It's like
I
getting
mean-
on a roller coaster.
I mean, with some of them, Transformers, if you can just get away from the plot, yeah, they're fun to watch.
Didn't he do that Six Underground?
Yes, that is
That
a
was-
Michael Bay film.
I enjoyed
I don't
that
know
quite
if
a
I've
bit.
seen it. I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's on Netflix. It's with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
If
okay.
you're
I haven't
into
seen
it-
that one yet.
if you're-
I haven't seen that one
Oh,
yet.
dude, you should watch it. I mean, look, it's not going to change your life,
Oh no. But
but
I
it is
it's
Ryan
fun.
Reynolds,
yeah,
and it is action.
yeah.
It's a very interesting story that I would like to see more of. It didn't really
That first thing was setting everything up.
Right. The one movie was like, okay, but where are they going to take it? That's where my interest is. What are they going to do with it? And Ryan's got so many damn projects on his
Oh
palette.
man,
He needs to clone himself so
That
he
dude
can
is busy.
take care of all this stuff.
that dude is busy.
Cell phone business, cell phone
Cell
commercials.
phone. He just sold his liquor business, so that's a nice little chunk of change in his
Pump
you
the
could-
brakes there, Ryan. Pump the brakes.
If you could go back in time after Green Lantern crashed and he played a really crappy version of Deadpool in the whatever that thing was,
Oh.
the
X-Men
Wolverine.
Origins Wolverine
Yeah.
or whatever. And you could go, look, I know it looks pretty grim right now, but just hang on, buddy.
yeah,
It
Yeah.
gets better.
yeah.
It gets a lot better.
Clearly, with his origin in doing, I think he did stand up, and then he got into a couple of sitcoms in Canada that were okay. They weren't huge hits or anything, but that got his foot in the door. Everybody could probably see, much like Tom Hanks, everybody could see that he was going to blow up. It was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of that right project. Unfortunately, Green Lantern tried to set him back a step or two, but he overcame.
Yeah.
I will say,
Tom Hanks started out with Bosom Buddies, and he did okay.
I will say that if, because I'm a huge fan of comedians doing dramatic roles. I swear to you, there is not a single actor out there who can perform these roles better than comedians, in my opinion. And my examples are Michael Keaton, when he did any type of dramatic role, the man ate up that screen. If you look at, and the reason I bring that up is Ryan Reynolds had a part in a movie called, it was a remake of Amityville, the Amityville Horror, and it's completely straight. There is no comedy. He is straightforward drama, and he, in my opinion, he was fantastic. Again, one of those stepping stones before he blew up. Give that man any type of role, comedic or dramatic, and he's going to knock your socks off, I think.
Ronnie says, I don't know why you guys are talking about Ryan Reynolds. He fixed those timelines in Deadpool 2.
Nice. I forgot about that.
I got another couple of adjacent things since we're in the MCU block here. One of the things is, did either of you see the NBA Marvel Arena of Heroes game yesterday?
I did not get to see that.
For those who didn't get to see it, it was a regular NBA game with the Golden State Warriors versus New Orleans, and they had it broadcasting on ESPN, but concurrently they had it also broadcasting on ESPN2. And the ESPN2 broadcast was what they called the Marvel Arena of Heroes. And during the course of the game, they were assigning what they called hero points to all of the players that were participating. And hero points were not just if you scored a goal, but also if you had an assist or you had a block or, any of the other statistics and stuff. And in the course of the game, they had kind of animated figures of Black Panther and Iron Man and
Black Widow, I think.
I want to say Black Widow, Doctor Strange, that would show up and they were like recruiting or whatever.
That's funny.
And it was supposed to be whoever got the most hero points gets to fight with the Avengers. And basically what it ended up being is like whoever won the thing, they got an illustration of themselves as a superhero, and then they're going to be put on a comic book cover or something.
That's cool.
With the the movie version of the Avengers, which is, that's pretty cool. And in the course of the deal, they had two announcers who were kind of giving some canned, responses, but they had one woman who was their expert, and she did know her stuff. She really did know all she knew everyone's, their real names and stuff, and she knew history on these people, and so she kind of filled them in on this stuff so that they didn't look like complete idiots while they were calling this game and talking about, all of this stuff. I think, when people would slam the basketball, it would say Hulk smash.
That's funny.
In a big balloon and stuff. It had a lot of extra graphics on it that it usually wouldn't have. If you like NBA games, it was kind of fun to have that extra layer of stuff.
When they shot a 3-pointer, if I remember right, first off, it had a trail.
It has an arc that you could follow in real time.
Blue trail, and if they sunk it, a burst with the Avengers logo.
Yeah.
Popped out in smoke and then faded.
So basically they took a cue from Nickelodeon's NFL football game with all the slime shooting into the end zone.
Right, that's right.
Which, if you want kids to get involved, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do,
I thought it was fun. Honestly, I would have probably watched that game. Whether it was the Marvel version of it or not, it's an interesting game. We're getting down to the playoffs. I enjoy these things.
They replaced the regular scoreboard ticker down at the bottom with comic splashes and comic fonts, and
that's cool.
It
was a fun deal. Visually, it was a fun deal.
And that this is not going to be the only thing they do. They're also going to do a Star Wars themed version of this as well. Also with the NBA, and
they're actually doing
figure out some way to incorporate Star Wars into it, which is since it's May the 4th, might as well mention that.
Tonight with the Yankees Astros game, there is a May the 4th telecast going on tonight. So
cool.
It's probably on right now. So any of you Yankees and Houston Astro fans might want to turn the TV on the side to see if they can find it. I can't remember what network it's on, but I want to say it's ABC, I do believe. So
I was about to say this happens because Disney owns ABC and ESPN, and Disney owns Star Wars and Marvel, so they can mash this stuff together as much as they want to.
So CBS, Viacom, if Paramount or whatever,
they want to have a Star Trek game.
If you're paying attention, we need a Star Trek. Come on. Star Trek
something like that?
game.
What do
I
we
mean,
got here?
you own. You guys have the NFL.
Hello, Joseph.
Hey, what's up,
Joseph
cousin?
says go Astros.
That's my cousin.
All right, and the last thing that I want to talk about, and I kind of wanted to talk more about this, but I mean, my gosh, this could go on forever. They had a thing where I've never seen anything like this. This was what was touted as like an Eternals trailer, but it really wasn't much of an Eternal. It wasn't even a teaser trailer. I mean, it was like, here's 2 seconds of 2 Eternals scenes. And then what they did is they went into kind of a retrospective of the Marvel Cinematic Universe over the last 10 years. And, I've never seen anything like this because no one else has done this. No one else has done a cohesive storyline with, 20 movies, over a decade.
22.
Okay, 22 movies that culminated in, like a big, huge crossover where everyone shows up at the end of the deal. And they go from showing you all of this stuff and doing what Disney does best, which is talk about family and about, these characters and really, really showing some of the great emotional moments over the past 10 plus years of the MCU. And then they show you the big scene, the big finale of Endgame, and they break out of showing you scenes from the deal, and they show you the crowd as the Avengers assemble, and they show what the we got another person coming who's joining us. How you doing, Scott?
There he is.
What's up, fellas?
How's it
How
going?
much? How you doing?
Good. Busy.
You got your sound right?
How'd the kid do?
I don't know.
No, it sounds good.
Okay. She got an award, and last night we had a music concert. And
She got an award.
What'd she win an award
She's
for?
great. God.
4.0. So
Awesome.
Not too shabby.
good for her.
Did it come in a big crate with
No,
all sorts of
no.
straw with fragile?
Even she said it was a waste of time. So
Oh,
Wow.
Oh,
truly,
Hey,
her,
you know what? I just heard a
father's
story
daughter.
about. I heard a story about someone who, in their freshman year of high school, pitched a no-hitter baseball game, and they gave him. They wanted to give him the baseball. It's like, here, have the baseball from this no-hitter, and he's like, it's not such a big deal, because he thought, he was a freshman, and he thought, I'll have 100 of these,
right.
over the next few years, and of course he never did that again. So, appreciate these awards when they come around.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, I do appreciate the hard work and stuff. I mean, I never had a 4.0 in junior high or high school, so I was on the lazy side of things. It's just, I don't know, the presentation and everything is just, it's always long and drawn out. And you have all these people that want to get their words in there, people you never heard of before. So it is what it is.
It's like, who is this cat that won't shut up?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it could have been a lot worse, but I'm glad it's over, and so is she.
Yeah, I got you. Just something to take up your Tuesday evening. So anyway, they show this in this little trailer thing that they have. They show the crowd and the seminal moment. I won't spoil it for anyone who hadn't seen it. The seminal moment with Captain America, and I have to say that this build up to this thing really touched me. I mean, I have never had a stupid commercial or something, because this was a commercial. I never had a commercial that really made me emotional, but this one did. The build up and kind of reliving that moment, because I remember in the theater that was insane. When that happened, it really brought all that back to me, and I thought it was really done well. And I think that what Disney and Marvel is doing is saying, look, we know we took a year off because of the pandemic, but let's not forget, that we had 10 plus years of some pretty damn good movies, and here's what we got coming up next. and we're gonna carry on with what we did. Don't worry about it. This is like, we got this. So in the course of that, they also revealed the titles for Black Panther 2 and Captain Marvel 2. And the title for Black Panther 2 is Wakanda Forever, and for Captain Marvel 2 is The Marvels. Does anyone want to? Can you take anything from that, or you have any thoughts about either of those?
I can jump in here,
Sure.
I haven't seen anything, so I don't even know what you're talking about. But by the title alone of the Marvels, I mean, I heard this morning on the radio, and I saw
you should watch it. It's a fun deal.
What are you talking about watching? Is this like the?
Oh, it was touted as the Eternals trailer.
Oh, okay. With all the other stuff. Okay.
I will say that there's another one out there that says celebrating cinematic movies. Marvel celebrates cinematic movies.
Okay.
Which is a better title. But yeah, I saw the one that said the Eternals teaser trailer, and I was like, nah. So. Okay.
Well, here's what I think based off just seeing the title, The Marvels. I think we're 100% going to maybe get some. It's possible that we could get some other versions. I mean, like. The history of Captain Marvel or Marvel is for Marvel, because there was a Captain Marvel, by Fawcett Comics.
Michelle says she's been missing you.
Well, everybody misses me. I'm so wonderful. Thank you, Michelle. It's very possible we could get some of those other people that's played the role of Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers did. And remember, she started off in the comics as Miss Marvel. So, like, there's a big history to go on here that you could pull out any of that stuff. I think for sure we're going to get the MCU version of Miss Marvel, which is Kamala Khan, I believe is her name.
Yeah.
She's the teenager. I believe she has some...
They've already announced that as a series.
Yeah.
I think she's Arabic American, if I remember correctly. She's in the Champions comics. She's a great character. She has like stretchy powers, kind of like Mr. Fantastic. She's totally different than like the normal Captain Marvel type characters. She just has that name and that homage to it. And I'm kind of excited for that. I hope it's a better movie than the first one. I know I'm going to get a lot of shade for saying that. But, dude, even my daughters are like, my daughters are like, they say Captain Marvel's a Karen. And so they say that often. And that's the one movie they could give two craps about going watching and seeing again. So it just didn't strike a chord with us. I mean, it was still not a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad movie. Marvel hasn't made a bad movie yet. So it just wasn't as fun.
What I wanted to point out on the logo is the S at the end of Marvels. That's Ms. Marvel.
Ms. Marvel's S, or her lightning bolt on her chest.
Right. And then in the middle of the A is Photon's star.
Exactly. Right. Monica Rambeau.
So
who we got in WandaVision.
And really, the second Captain Marvel, right? After the original Captain Marvel in the comics died from cancer, she took over, which was different because it was a woman, and an African-American woman, who went on to lead the Avengers in the comic, which was a really big deal in the 80s, right?
Yep.
So, so let's not forget those characters. That S, Sean, also, I'm really reaching here, but could it possibly be the Sentry? Because he wears an S on his chest as like a villain hero type guy. I don't know. Probably not, but I'm going to say kind of a hopeful reach.
I'm going to say you're reaching. I don't think that. No, that's not the Sentry.
No, it's not the same S.
I agree with you. It was just a way reach for me. So,
but I like where your head's at.
Yeah, so do I. I was gonna say I would like to see that character show up myself.
Give it time, man. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
As long as the sun doesn't blow up or an asteroid hit us, we're gonna see it eventually if we live long enough. So.
Yeah,
and then they'll probably show it during the reconstruction.
Anyone else on those two titles?
Any
thoughts?
I mean, Wakanda Forever. That was a given. I'm sorry. I mean, you can't. You can say it was blatant, blatantly, you can say it's blatantly cheesy or whatever, but no, I totally expected that, because after the first Black Panther, excuse me, let me spit out the words correctly. After the first Black Panther movie, who wasn't walking around saying Wakanda forever? Who wasn't walking around doing this?
Right.
I mean, that had to be the title of the next movie.
Including people that probably have never watched a Marvel movie in their life.
Right. I mean, like I said, I've mentioned this before. It was great seeing little white kids at conventions dressed up in Black Panther outfits and walking around going
Hello,
Wakanda
Dree.
forever. That was an awesome sight. So Wakanda forever was, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Here's a soliloquy from Ronnie, who says, a commercial that made me cry was the Maxwell House coffee at Christmas. When the son comes home and makes coffee and wakes his mom up, and she is surprised. When I was younger, it was powerful. Now I'm old and bitter, so I laugh at it now.
Do you laugh at it, or do you laugh that
Or does it laugh at you?
Or do you laugh because it made you cry?
I worry about you, brother.
Oh, man. This is sick.
Ronnie, you need to get out more, dude. Get vaccinated.
I think that the Wakanda Forever thing is, I think it's called that because, obviously Chadwick Boseman's no longer with us. And also I think that they're going to be, leaning on the extra cast there, for that movie. And I still don't know what they're going to do. No one really does. But, there's plenty of ways for them to go there. It's going to be okay, folks.
Yeah.
I've read that Michael B. Jordan and Lupita Nyong'o, is that correct? Have both commented about what they've gotten from.
I still think Michael B. Jordan is going to find his way into that outfit.
See, I don't. I don't think he's going to be the Black Panther. I do see him as an ethereal spirit that whoever's going to become the Black Panther will meet him on that ethereal plane.
Right.
And
I mean, that's very much within continuity.
Right. And that's pretty much all you're going to get of Michael B. Jordan. Now they might expand the role to where the person goes back to that plane to interact with him more, to gain some of his training, to gain some of his tactical prowess and what have you, which rock and roll. Do
we get Doctor Strange before we get the next Wakanda Forever?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Then I think anything's possible.
They laid out when all of the movies are coming out now, and I think that Doctor Strange comes out next year.
I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just it would not be popular. It would not be.
It wouldn't be popular to do that.
And the Black Panther 2 movie was just announced. It doesn't have a date.
Okay.
They're probably still working on the script, to be honest.
For sure.
I see them. I see them possibly replacing Chadwick for a third movie. But right now, I think it's all Shuri. Mm-hmm. They're going to do Shuri as Black Panther.
They'll go with her?
Female Black Panther, then transition in. That way, whoever comes in.
There's going to be...
We're happy to see T'Challa back, but it's not replacing. It's the next chapter.
Oh, I see.
I think that Shuri is going to come in contact with Michael B. Jordan on that ethereal plane. She doesn't have the tactical. She doesn't have the experience. She doesn't have the fight that she's going to need to be Black Panther, and that's where she's going to get her knowledge. That's where she's going to learn.
That sounds good.
It's going to be a thing if it were me writing, and this is just me. If this was me coming up with a plot, Black Panther is going to be presumed dead. Okay, T'Challa is going to be.
He's missing.
He's going to be missing and presumed dead.
So they don't even really address.
Right. So
the elephant in the room.
Shuri becomes the next line in succession.
Someone's got to take over.
She becomes Black Panther. And when she goes to the ethereal plane to get his advice, she comes up with Michael B. Jordan, and it's going to be he's not here because he's not dead.
Right.
So she takes up the mantle to find him, or
very
whatever.
plausible.
So, and that's how we get a new actor to play Black Panther, which I'm fine. I'm fine with it. It's just the one thing that I'm concerned about is people bitching about him being replaced.
So people are gonna bitch if he was still alive and making the movie.
Exactly.
They go, how dare him do not do something else?
Yeah.
Making
He's too
people
talented
happy.
for Black Panther.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's no way.
We got the blowback when Don Cheadle became War Machine, but I actually like him better as War Machine.
I do too.
Rhodey.
Dude, I like Don Cheadle in anything he's in.
So
That man's awesome.
yeah.
I'm gonna get out of this. We're burning daylight here.
Let's go to the next one.
All right. We're going to talk about Battlestar Galactica. We can do that next time. It's not really timely. It's just timely because Sean shared that thing. But we can do a little bit more research on it maybe and do a better deal. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it live.
I had a pound you.
We'll probably do it better if we have a little bit more research on it anyway. Comic artist John Paul Leon died yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Best known for his artwork for Static. And
He died
X.
May 1st, if we want to be correct.
I'm sorry, May 1st.
May 1st.
May 1st.
At the age of 49, cause of death was not given. The news came via Chris Conroy, a senior editor at DC Comics. Last night, we lost John Paul Leon, one of the greatest draftsmen in the history of comics, the kind of artist that every artist revered. Those who loved him had some warning, but not enough, he wrote on Twitter. Because of the long gestation period of Batman Creature of the Night, working with JP just might have been one of the longest professional relationships of my career. Every minute of it was a joy. I've never worked with anyone as kind, as thoughtful, as dedicated. They say that Leon started his career at age 16, illustrating for Dragon and Dungeon magazines. You guys remember those?
Yes.
Is Dragon still around?
If it is, we don't carry it at our shop. So.
It said that he died of cancer.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he's had like had the same cancer. I can't even pronounce it, but he had it 3 times is what they said.
That's sad.
They thought it was gone, and then it came back, and then it spread to his lungs and all that stuff.
He's 49, folks.
Yeah,
that's not that old.
Yeah.
If there's something you want to do, you better go do it. If there's something you want to tell sorry to,
I gotta start eating better and exercising more.
I gotta start telling the people I dislike where they need to go.
There you go.
You don't want to leave that. You don't want to leave that undone, man.
I don't want to leave that undone.
They say his move to comics began with RoboCop in 1992, and RoboCop Prime Suspect for Dark Horse Comics. He then worked for DC Comics on Static and Static Shock, helping launch the Milestone Comics universe. He also worked on the further adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix in 96, The Winter Men 2005, and Batman Creature of the Night 2017. I haven't seen that. I think I should check that out.
I've got all of the Static, the original Static.
He also did the Earth X series in 1999. That was written by Jim Kruger, and Alex Ross did the covers.
I have that one too. That one was pretty good too.
And he did Challengers of the Unknown series in 97, which I really love that.
That is where I know him from. I was trying to figure out what it was. It's Challengers of the Unknown. No doubt about it. Thank you, Scott. He was nominated for an Eisner along with Tom King for his work on the short story Black Death in America, which debuted at Vertigo's CMYK Black issue. So there it is. I have some stuff. This doesn't have to go on for long, but I have a few of his pictures here if I could bring it up. Add to stream. There it is. So there's a 2-page spread there. You can see that he's kind of known for this, this real noir look.
When the Milestone comics were around, I picked up a lot of books, but I did not really care for Static Static at the time. I mean, he was okay. He wasn't one of my favorites, but the art is what pulled me in, and I became a big John Paul Leon fan way back when.
I mean, look at that! How amazing!
No,
that
the guy's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a. I love darkness in art, and man, he's really got it. I mean, look at that. That's just incredible. There's some.
That one's one of my favorites right there.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things, which is Blade Runner. He did his version of Blade Runner there. There's another 2-page spread. It's pretty cool. What is that for, guys?
That's
Cyclops and Phoenix.
Cyclops and Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an actual page. Heritage Auctions. I mean, look at how he blocks these characters in. I don't know. He always impressed me. Is that it? I think that's the end of my thing there. So anyway, if you didn't know about him, then there's some of his work, and you should check it out. I really want to see that Batman thing, and I'm glad you mentioned Challenges of the Unknown, because I knew there was something that I'd followed with him, and they weren't mentioning it.
Right.
Although I probably also picked up those static things because I got all of the Milestone stuff when it came out, because it was pretty dynamic. All the stuff, all the characters, all the people that they had involved with that. But anyway, eat your salads, folks, and go walk around the block or something.
One cheat day a week.
How about this? Don't get
many
cancer.
People?
Don't get cancer.
I mean, shit. What are you going to do?
I mean, that's the one you can't plan for, right?
No, you can't. No, I mean, there's no mitigating that.
So.
But anyway, R.I.P. John Paul Leon, one of my favorite artists. Really inspirational for my own stuff, and he died way too young. Are you kidding me? 49. That's just
pretty crazy.
That's just insane. I was really sorry to hear that, and it's like.
I was a little shocked myself.
So ridiculous and out of control.
Couple things. I didn't realize he was so young. I mean, in comparison, because he's been around since the Milestone stuff was where my first, and to know that he started working so early. He was only in his 20s then. When
his stuff,
I thought he might have been
like
35
an older dude, like
Yeah.
someone that worked during the 60s or something.
It wasn't
That's what his
until
stuff looked like.
the birth of the internet that I found out he was white. I thought he was a black guy.
I did too. Yeah, I did too.
I just did,
That's.
I mean, especially when you relate to somebody as being a founder during the founding of Milestone.
Well,
right?
I mean, you just assume that.
I had that assumption with a lot of people when Milestone, assumed that they were either black or whatever, and then I find out that he's what? He's Asian? He's white? What?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, but yeah.
But they did pull in, people that new people in dynamic stuff. They were really trying to do something different there.
Yeah,
I would say John Paul Leon, there was an artist that went by the name Chris Cross, which I think his real name is Christopher Cross. He just smashed it together. Tommy Lee Edwards, those were some big time artists.
Tommy Lee Edwards, that's another one.
Another guy that does really good blacks and whites,
Yes.
And there was a lot of talent in those Milestone books, and I don't really understand how they failed. They were such good titles.
Larry Stroman.
Yeah.
I think, who was going
Dennis
to...
Cowan, how are you want to pronounce it?
Dennis Cowan.
Oh, that's another guy I love. And I love him from the Question. He did a run with...
He did Moon Knight.
I want to say Larry Hama. That's probably wrong. Anyway, he did a run on the Question, which blew me away. Dennis Cowan. I love that guy.
He did a Deathlock, Moon Knight. I want to say he did some Daredevil
Thank you,
stuff
Brian.
as well.
Nice of you to join us. Thank you.
I'd love to see them bring Deathlock into the MCU.
A proper
Deathlock.
Right.
I wish that they put him in the future, like the version that I saw of him. I mean, they could leave him in the MCU,
like the original Deathlock.
Yeah, he was like in, like a kind of Terminator type future or something. which I always thought was really cool. And then, actually, didn't Deathlock show up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah,
A
it was.
version.
It was. Eh.
I mean, we can pretend like that didn't happen.
I think most people will.
Which that's what they're going to do. So,
Hooper, the
Yeah.
Dennis Cowan question series was written by Dennis O'Neill. So it's the two
Denny
Dennises
O'Neill.
on it. Yeah,
All right,
Denny
all right.
O'Neill. So.
All right.
yeah, Cowan these days.
That was so good.
Cowan these days is producing some of the animation from DC and whatnot these days.
Yeah.
I've seen his name. I've seen his name on some credits for things.
He did the new question series in that large format that they're doing. Was a Black Label?
Mm-hmm.
He did the new series. I picked up a couple of issues of that. All right, we're going to go to On Blast.
Seems like On Blast should be more upbeat.
That baseline.
Or
that you
more
had at the
violent. More violent.
Well, the original thought for On Blast is that since it's near the end of the show, we're kind of winding
Bringing
things
it down.
So that was why I chose that kind of down tempo.
I kind of figured that's what.
Should be called Time for Bed. I mean, like
Go to bed.
Ronnie's old. He's going to go to bed in about 15 minutes. I mean,
What
he
are you
might
talking
make it to
about?
the end of the show or not. I
Let
don't
me drink
know.
my Metamucil.
That is more true than you know.
Let me get my glass of
That is more
Metamucil
true.
and go to bed.
This is almost midnight for Ronnie.
Yeah, it's hard for him to stay up on Tuesday nights. It wrecks his whole week. Knocks him out of his poop schedule. That's
Wowzers.
important for old people.
He gets irregular. Is that what you're saying?
So it's On Blast.
On Blast.
And we're going to be talking about things that we consumed lately. It's been a couple of weeks, so hopefully some people had more than a few
What's
things
everybody
that they've taken a look at over the last few weeks. And since Scott hasn't been here this entire time, we're going to give the floor to him first.
All right. I'm going to, if you're out there and you love board games and you love Marvel stuff and you like miniatures and you're maybe not a super heavy gamer, there's a light, I call it medium to light game. Although the more we play with, I wouldn't say it's the most strategic thing, but we're still enjoying it. Me and Jennifer has been playing Marvel United.
I saw that, yeah.
We got our Kickstarter in. It comes with a whole bunch of minis, like Chibi style. There's expansions where you can play into the Spider-Verse, which this one has Spider-Ham in it.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
there's like a Sinister Six one and the Infinity Gauntlet. And at first we thought it was too easy, and lately the villains have been beating our butts. So we're impressed on how unique it all the villains so far seems to have played. We played about 8 games in the last couple of weeks. There's a X-Men United Kickstarter out right at this moment. If you're watching this tomorrow, it might be over, but if you're watching this live, there's about 22 hours left. I'm telling you, you should go check it out if you like board games, or if you have a nephew or a niece that might like board games. This thing can be played with, with probably 10-year-olds and up. The Marvel X-Men United thing is probably by this point hit $5 million. And
Wow.
if you go in on the $65 pledge, all the free characters you get from all the stretch goals on Kickstarter is crazy. You want to rip that company off, you just do the $65 pledge. If you want to go all in, you can. There's a Fantastic Four box set. There's all these different X-Men box sets. There's tons and tons of characters. And there's a Deadpool set that you can add on and stuff. If you wanted to get it all, I think it's probably about $300. And if you wanted to get the very low tier of stuff, you can get that for $65. And I think you're going to get over 100. Well, maybe not over 100, maybe 80 characters, because you're getting all the Kickstarter exclusive stuff. And even if you don't like that, you could probably buy it and resell all those figures for about $6 a piece on eBay, because somebody will want them. Anyways, I'm just telling you, I'm giving you a warning now. Anyways, we're having a good time playing with that. Since we were talking about the passing of John Paul Leon, who's our contemporary, he's our age.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that there's a lot of old guys that we loved as kids. This is X-Men Legends number 3. This is a series that kind of like fills in they're making up places. It fills in holes of the past, but they're
Right,
just
right.
making up stories. Okay.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. If you miss out on this, it doesn't matter. But this one is written by Louise Simonson and drawn by Walter Simonson, who did X
Interesting.
Factor back in the day.
Yeah,
I remember that.
It's obviously not as crisp as 1992 Walter Simonson, but it is almost 30 years later, and it's really nice to see him do some panels and stuff like that. Because if he was 35 back then, he's 65 now, and he can out pencil any of us. So
right, exactly. Man.
my point is
Exactly.
we're never going to get a new John Paul Leon book, so enjoy some of the old veterans while you can. And
Yeah.
support them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Who are still amazing.
right. And this was a fun read. If you read X Factor as a kid and stuff during the 80s and 90s, you would probably still enjoy this. So that's going to be my kind of comic recommendation. And then finally, I got this in the mail, and I want to open this live really quick. And I
I know
think
what it is.
Hoop already knows what this is. This is from the Kickstarter, and let's
Yep.
just do it this way.
Yep.
Ta-da.
Project Big Hype. Doug Wood's been our guest several times,
Yep.
and there's the nice book. This
Mine
this
should be coming in
feels-
Okay, now I'm officially mad.
Did you not get yours yet?
Nope.
Okay, well,
Sean got his.
you're a bum. You gotta. Anyways, this guy's. I wanted to see this live because I haven't
Yep.
opened it,
Yep.
and this, if I didn't know Doug Wood and this was sitting at the shop, I would just think this is like a really professional done thing. I mean, it feels just like one of those little manga books.
It does. It's slick.
It's solid.
It's got great pages, great paper on
Yeah.
the pages.
I can't wait to look. I can't wait to look in the mailbox the rest of the week.
Anyways,
So wait a minute. Wait. Well, do you have it too?
Oh yeah,
But you haven't gotten yours
I
yet.
haven't gotten mine yet.
Okay, I feel a little better.
So if you're out there and you really have to have a copy, maybe you through us you can get a hold of Doug Wood, and maybe he has some extra copies sitting around. And I know he started gathering artists and writers to do Project Big Hype #2. So good job, Doug. From everything I look. So that's all I have. I can do some promos when it's promo time.
Doug has a new project. He's going to be on an episode soon when he's available that he wants to talk about on Kickstarter. And yeah, he's got another Project Big Hype coming out. I feel better that Walt didn't get his either. 'Cause Sean got his and Scott got his. I don't have mine yet. I'm very
I
upset.
haven't gotten mine yet. But,
All right.
You know.
Well, if you haven't gotten yours yet, then I won't worry about it as much. Apparently Ronnie hasn't gotten his. Did he order that? He might have actually ordered that.
Yeah.
Did you actually order that, Ronnie?
I assume he did. He's talking about it.
All right. And Ronnie says, this is bad. Ronnie says, I may have an old people schedule, but unlike Robert, I know who my daddy is, so I am good.
Wow. You are an awful person to make fun of my friend like that.
Yeah, why would you do
You do not
that?
have permission to do that. Only me and Gary do.
Why would you do that?
No.
Don't do that, Ronnie. Only me and Gary can do that. You got it?
It's just not
This is why Jesus didn't give you your Project Big Hype, because you're
Wow.
you're a butthole.
Hey, now don't go blaming Jesus on this.
My friend Jesus said, "No, Ronnie, you can wait." How about this, Ronnie? I pledged my Project Big Hype money in the last 4 hours.
Wow.
And I got it first.
That's
My
wrong.
friend Jesus.
Jesse says, enjoying the show, guys. Keep it up. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dad.
And Ronnie says that he has anonymity. For whatever reason. All right. Next, we are going to go to Sean for On Blast.
Well, as already stated, yes, I too got my Project Big Hype.
That's beautiful. Jesus is looking out for you too.
So we
God,
all four got that.
Yes.
That's funny.
God, I've actually had a moment to flip through and check it out, and there's a lot of I haven't been able to read any of it yet. I've just flipped through it, just checked out the artwork and whatnot, and there's a lot of beautiful stuff in there. Doug Wood pulled together a great group of people to introduce new characters, new stories, and I'm really hopeful to see a lot of these expand, maybe get their own gig and do more or appear in more project hype.
I said I wanted that for 20 years. I want Project Big Hype for 20 years.
They've
And a
got
movie.
a great first outing. They did a great job.
Not a movie. We want a anthology TV series.
There you go.
That'd be nice.
That would be perfect.
Some of the other things that I got recently is Carbon 4 by Mark Schultz.
Oh, that looks so cool.
That looks great.
Oh, is that Kickstarter project? Robert
Yes.
got that too. It looks
Robert
beautiful.
did get that, yes.
If you are interested in Mark Schultz and you missed out on the Kickstarter, you can go to Flesk Publishing. That's FLESK Publishing, and you can pick this up at their website. But what you can't pick up
Oh,
are some of the extra cool stuff, like little bitty ash can with some great stuff from Mr. Schultz there. Little mini print
nice.
and some nice advertisement for some upcoming projects.
Cool.
Also with that particular Kickstarter, if I can put this up without damaging anything. If you're not familiar, well, let me do that. If you're not familiar with Mark Schultz, he's a fabulous illustrator. He's been doing incredible stuff throughout the years.
That's cool, man.
Most notably on a comic series called Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Love that series.
Pretty
Beautiful,
awesome.
beautiful artwork. Here you can see the pencil and then the final ink
That's cool.
of a nice Conan piece, I believe.
Man, you don't get that a lot.
Great artwork, great stuff from Mark Schultz. Been a huge fan of his for quite a while, actually. And also with that Kickstarter from Flesk Publishing is the Strange World Adventures by Al Williamson. Now, had to sneeze. I apologize.
Wow.
I was never really into Al Williamson. I didn't really know a whole lot about him before, but just from the back, you can see the amazing artwork that this guy produces.
He's like an old school, serious illustrator.
For May the 4th.
Who also did Star Wars. Yes.
Yep.
He was the guy in the old Marvel Star Wars comics that I wished would do every issue.
Yeah,
Correct.
Same here.
So clearly,
because he just got everyone.
A wonderful book filled with wonderful,
that's cool,
wonderful illustrations.
That is cool.
Again, if you missed out on the Kickstarter and you'd like to pick those up, you can go to Flesk Publishing and pick those up at your leisure. One other thing that I wanted to talk about was a documentary. I think I've discussed before called In Search of Darkness, which is a huge documentary. It's part 2. Recently came out, discussing movies of the 80s, horror films in particular of the 80s. And I watched that this weekend. It's not only do I have the Blu-ray and whatnot, but they recently propped In Search of Darkness on Shudder. And what I wanted to point out in particular was, if you look right here, you'll see.
Wow. Look at that.
We made the credits, boys.
Nice.
That's cool.
So what did we do to earn that?
We paid a lot of
The
money.
Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
The
That's cool.
Kickstarter, man.
Money, 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 money.
Yeah.
That means I owe Sean money. Dang it. Get in line with everybody else.
That's cool,
So
man.
we are the studio is forever on Into
Immortalized.
Darkness Part 2. But yeah, great documentary. I'm sorry, Scott. It's only 4.5 hours long.
I'll never see it.
But that's a tragedy because it really is. It's good. It's not as good as I don't think it was as good as the first one, but it definitely was a excellent look at 80s horror films. And that's all I got.
All right. Good stuff, man. Walter, next.
So much. Let's see. First, I've had these for a while. In fact, I got these when Scott got his copies. But the Alliance.
Oh, nice.
I haven't read them yet because I decided, like Scott, because it's been so long between issues, I needed to go back and read the first 2 issues again of all 4 of the titles. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. The other thing that I consumed this week was the Netflix anime of Yasuke premiered on Netflix this week. The anime, and Dirk, if you would share that screen there.
Yasuke? I don't know if he can.
Uh-oh. Did he fall off?
Who? What, do you want to add this to the stream?
Yeah. Yep.
There you
Looks
go.
like he fell
Boom.
off. So
Yeah.
So this is an anime out of Japan, and it's produced by LaShawn Thomas, who also did Cannon Busters. It's both written and produced by he and music artist Flying Lotus, and I'm a huge fan of Flying Lotus, his unique style of music. I watched this from beginning to end, binge watched it. It's really good.
Is it?
It's really good. I enjoyed every bit of this.
Now, is this a telling of
the actual? It's a melding of the actual historical figure and science fiction.
Okay.
So, but it also takes place in feudal Japan. So it's if you're a fan of Cannon Busters and familiar with LaShawn's style of storytelling, it's in there. It's all in there. You can tell that it's LaShawn Thomas and everything. But it's a really, really, really great series.
I jumped on board some of his artwork years ago on I think it was DeviantArt.
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
I had no idea he was. He actually moved to Japan.
He moved to Japan, yeah,
to learn anime.
The anime.
That is
Yeah.
much respect.
I'm like, hey,
Yeah, absolutely.
And which is wild. I mean, it's wild in itself that we have an American who's doing anime, and is a popular anime creator in Japan, and he's from the United States. And even for me, it's even more wild to find out that he's African American. So, and when I say this, a lot of people don't know how much Dragon Ball Z influences Black culture today. I mean, you just do not know how Goku and Piccolo are 2 characters that we totally identify with those 2 characters. I don't know why, but I'm a huge Piccolo fan. And my cousin, who's been commenting there, Joseph, I know he's a big Goku fan.
He says he's watching Invincible tonight and he hears good things.
Yes,
I have too, and I keep meaning to watch.
We still haven't.
Invincible.
So
we need to have a powwow.
We need to catch up. Scott, we need to catch up and then talk about it next week.
Yeah, you need to catch
these
up.
These guys have been watching it.
We need to have an all Invincible episode.
Well, I read the comics, so if they're accurate,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not like it's.
I know Sean has too.
Yeah, we need to have an all Invincible episode, which, by the way, is something else that I watched over the weekend. So I've been binge watching a lot of stuff over the last week because money is tight, so I can't really go out and buy a lot of things.
Of course, you can. You just don't want to.
Well, the things that I've been buying have been supplies. So I've been buying a lot of art supplies because I'm trying to get my commission clientele built up here, which as I finished a portrait of a dog, friend's pet dog, and I still got to do another Robo Girl shirt. So things are lining up, and but I'll get into that later. But yeah, just a whole lot of stuff. I could even keep track. Bad Batch premiered since we're May the 4th. Bad Batch premiered today.
Right.
Watch that opening episode. Scott, you're not going to like it because it's an hour and 14 minutes long.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell are they trying to do here?
And it takes.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, and it starts off. It takes place. We're talking while the last episode of Clone Wars is going on. That's when this story takes place.
Wow.
So
get caught up on Clone Wars before you.
So it all you have to do is just watch the last episode of Clone Wars. And really you don't even need to watch the last episode of Clone Wars because they're not even in it. They're in the first 3 episodes of the last season. So this story takes place right after their story with Captain Rex.
That's cool. Well, now that you mentioned all these shows, I forgot what I was going to talk about last week, which, we had difficulties getting on here. I got to go to the movie theater, fellas.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you go see? Did you go see?
I saw this Demon Slayer, and I'm not even going to begin to say the title there.
No, you have to say it correctly.
Okay. Yeah. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba the movie. Maybe.
Probably not bad.
Yo Gabba Gabba the movie.
Yo Gabba
Gabba. Jennifer's son is a big fan of Demon Slayer and didn't know it was getting an American release for about a week. So I surprised him with it, and he was really excited. And I knew absolutely zero going into this animated movie. And it's just like every other animated thing. If you don't know what's going on, that's your fault. They ain't gonna.
They're not gonna get you up.
They're not gonna recap.
They're not gonna give you a 10-minute recap of this character is this and this is why he's on his mission. It just goes. And it took a while. And after asking a few tiny questions at the beginning, of like, I couldn't tell. Like the one main character had like earrings. So being an old white guy, I had to go, is this a girl or a boy? Because it sounds like a boy, but it looks like a girl. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. In the end, it was, I don't know if I enjoyed the movie or if I enjoyed the movie experience. It was nice to be in the theater again. It was nice to pay $4 for an overpriced soda. It was nice to get mad at people for having their child there at the movie so late. It was all that was very nice.
You enjoyed that. You appreciated it.
Sometimes you miss the things you hate.
Sure.
Like it fuels you to be better. It was a weird movie, and it's roughly a story about a kid whose family gets slayed by demons, so he becomes a demon slayer. And he carries his sister in this wooden backpack on him because she somehow turns into a demon, and she has a mouthpiece so she can't bite people and stuff. Anyways, the train was possessed by a demon.
I watched the first couple of episodes of that.
Yeah. Anyways, the train was possessed. They fight all these demons, and then you think it's over. And like typical, like almost Dragon Ball style, like you were mentioning, Walt, it wasn't over. There had to be a big giant battle at the end of one-on-one
battle.
Yeah, where they talked through the whole thing, and it was interesting. I had fun. I left with a bunch of questions. The boy loved it. So, anyways, I couldn't tell you any character's name except there was a boar-headed character who was awesome. There was this fire-headed guy who was cool. Anyways, Demon Slayer, thumbs up.
Hey, that's
nice.
cool.
That's cool.
It was fun. I mean, It was fun. There was times where the animation was, and this is, I think, typical for a lot of newer animation, so to speak. There's times where it's like so beautiful, and then there's other times where the character freaks out and shows emotion that they have this really archaic, almost like kindergarten drew this segment.
Yeah.
But I mean, it takes a master to know when to pull that off and when not to pull that off, really.
Yeah.
So nobody can say like, "Oh, that has some crappy animation." No, they know when to use it and when not to show emotions. So
storytelling.
Anyways, yeah, it is storytelling. So.
And speaking of anime movies, I watched, and this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. I watched a movie on Amazon Prime called Welcome to the Space Show or The Space Show. It's a Japanese animated movie. If you have kids, you've got to have kids to watch this. I totally enjoyed this movie, and really, what this movie is about these 5 kids. Is it 5 or 4? Yeah, it's 5 kids, three girls and 2 boys, and it's basically like a summer camp that these kids go to, and one of the girls who's new, she's just moved there. She's a cousin of one of the other characters, and she's kind of flighty and airheaded. Loses the class bunny rabbit. She lets it run off in the woods, and so they decide they're going to go out and find the rabbit. Instead, they find this injured dog. The injured dog turns out to be an alien.
Of course it does.
And so to show his appreciation for them saving his life, he takes them on a trip to space. He takes them to the moon. And on the other side of the moon is a secret alien space station where aliens just come to congregate and do things. And they end up getting trapped there because of a report that he wrote to his superiors. And then that's when the adventure goes on. And the animation is beautiful. The story is fun. And of course, with all Japanese animation, they get into some kind of trouble and they have to get out of it in order to get home. And of course, eventually they do. But if you have Amazon Prime, I recommend watching it. And if you have kids, watch it with your kids.
How many episodes is it?
It's one movie.
It's just one movie.
Just one movie.
It's just one movie.
Released in 2010, according to the Googles.
Yeah, I found it on accident. I was like, let's see what this is about, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, the trailer looks phenomenal.
Yeah, the animation is grand.
It's really fun whenever they can. I don't want to say seamlessly, but whenever they can merge computer generated graphics with cell animation,
with the traditional style. Yeah,
that's beautiful. I like it when they can do that. That's
if they merge it correctly. If it doesn't detract. We were just talking about that the other day. Sometimes they will use the computer animation to do spacecraft or buildings
vehicles
or something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mirror the style of the
animation.
The animation, and it's off-putting. But if you can marry those two looks, then it's amazing.
The last 2 seasons of Justice League Unlimited.
It's the best thing ever.
That got on my nerves. That's the only thing about that series that got on my nerves is when they switched to doing computer animated spaceships and vehicles.
It's got to be faster. Once you render it once, it's rendered forever.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's the difference. Ronnie says it's been a great show as usual, guys. I have to take my laxative supplement now and go to bed.
All right, buddy. You tell your nurse that she did a good job feeding you tonight, and we will see you next week, Papa.
I think he sent that some time ago, so he probably missed.
Yeah, probably at 7:30 before I was even on the show.
It was 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it was about 10 minutes ago. I don't know if he's still around, but anyway, my On Blast is also on Amazon Prime, but you shouldn't take your kids to see it. It's totally unrelated to Taskforce Geek. It's called the Girlfriend Experience, and it is for adults only.
Oh, is this one of those pay-per-views that you used to like to get in college?
No, this is this is. Oh, I never paid for those things.
Right.
It sounds like it's
I
a
watched plenty
documentary.
of them, but I never paid for them. No,
Right.
no. This is done by Steven. This is done by Steven Soderbergh, and it is about as sophisticated as you can get on this stuff. It is for adults, though.
Okay.
And I will say that it's a very interesting combination of exactly what you'd think it would be, and like kind of a thriller that uses what I would term
Nudity.
no,
Oh.
what I would term horror film style music to create some anticipation and stuff in this thing, because it's not just about it. It is about what the title is, but it's also about, at least in this first season, it's about this character that is also going to school and also going to a law firm, and kind of uncovers this kind of conspiracy thing, and it starts like she makes a lot of enemies, and the paranoia that she's experiencing is kind of scary. I mean, they have like scenes that are really well done, I think. So anyway, I enjoy that. It's not for kids, and it's not really Taskforce Geek material, but that's what I'm watching. That's what I'm watching. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about promo time. What do you think? Who's first? Let's go, Scott.
Hey, you can catch me over at boatdown.com. We just released a new episode just last week. I was looking forward to promoting it last week, but everything happened. Episode 119 is up. Me and Steve give you a couple, probably 2.5 hours of some new content. We talk about new products and talk about teams, Blood Bowl teams, and upcoming events. So catch me over at boatdown.com. If you need to talk to me, you can find me on Facebook at Scott Prime. And you can also, I'm sure Dirk's going to put up like my thing. There you go. All that stuff right there. You can catch me over there at Facebook. Real Scott Prime on Twitter. So if you need to talk to me and everything else, you're welcome to. So that's all I got.
That's good. Walt, you're up.
You can catch me at Walter at What Studios Presents WalterCons, which is a Facebook group. You can also find me on Zazzle with the What Studio Art Store. I've got some new shirts on there and some mugs. You can also find me on my blog at What Studio Blogspot or whatever. And that's about it. No, you can friend me on Facebook. You can catch me on Twitch TV, which is twitch.tv/Gatchman_1, where you can watch me playing video games. This week, I've gotten back into Ace Combat 7 because there was a new 25th anniversary download with they put in some classic airplanes that have that from the older games, and there's some new skins for some planes. So those of you who remember the the movie what was it, time travel movie, the Air Force or the Navy
Final Countdown.
Final Countdown.
If you remember the Jolly Roger squadron of the F-14s, that is now a skin in the game. It's
Nice.
never been
That's
in
cool.
the game. So and now that the F-14s are retired and the Jolly Roger squad flies F-18s, they have the F-18 version in there too.
Oh.
So I've been flying the hell out of those planes in the game. And if you want to watch some replays, go to my Twitch channel because I've been playing the game like crazy just so I can see those skins on replays. So, and that's about it.
Steve says, outstanding. Good to see y'all.
Good to see you too, my brother.
And Jesse says, Walt, your mom is watching also. Enjoyed the show.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
All right. Let's go to Sean.
You can
What
find
up?
You can find me at, as always, at rankingstudios.com.
You capping. It worked. I just threw out some teenage lingo to you that you did not understand. That means you're lying. And
I didn't
was saying
understand what you were saying.
I said you capping.
So go to rankingstudios.com if you want.
I told my kids I would use it, and you're my first person to use it on.
That's awesome. Or you can go to Facebook/Ranking Studios to check out anything that we've worked on or possibly be working on in the future. Check those places for any updates to what we've got in the can. And always feel free to drop us a line and just let us know what you think of us, what you think you'd like to see from us. And there you go.
All right. I'm not going to run through the whole list. I'm going to talk about something that I just found out. I was doing a little research the other day for some reason, I started going down the rabbit hole of looking at Alex Proyas. Alex Proyas is the guy who directed The Crow and Dark City, and more recently the Gods of Egypt or something, which apparently was I never saw it. I heard it was terrible. I was just wondering what the hell he was doing, and so like I said, I'm going down the rabbit hole, and I find out that he has a Facebook account, and it's like, hey, I need to go see what he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about a new film. I'm friends with Alex Proyas.
You didn't even know you were?
I didn't even know I was friends with Alex Proyas. I'm friends with him. Like I could message Alex Proyas, the director of The Crow, right now.
Why don't you? Tell him to come on the show.
Hey,
I figure I'm only going to get one of those. Either he's super cool and he'd be like, yeah, I'd like to be on the show, or he's going to be like, I don't know you. Why are you emailing me here? Why are you in my DMs?
Well, you didn't think he was your friend before on that.
I know. It's not like I would be losing it, but what if we have like a great thing that like we could, I don't know. I don't want to blow it and not have my stuff together.
This coming from the man who won't finish a damn series because he doesn't want it to end.
I still haven't finished the final episode of Altered Carbon first season.
Oh,
Sean,
come on.
When I lived with him, he would not pick up the mail or look at it from Friday, Saturday, because he didn't want it to ruin his weekend. So same fella, if you close your eyes, you can turn invisible because nobody can see you.
So I'd love to have Alex Proyas on the show. Needless to say, it would be awesome to talk to him about The Crow and
which
Dark
will
City.
never happen unless you take that step.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
Yep.
Go finish the damn series.
In addition to that, I have one other story about social media, and that is I put out a for adults only version of Red Sonja on my Instagram account, which is listed there. If you're an adult, you want to go check that out. It was just something I was doing for fun, and then I realized that the girl that I was sketching could be Red Sonja, so I just went and looked up the old Frank Thorne outfit and made her Red Sonja. And so I put it out there, and I tagged it Red Sonja Art, and the official Red Sonja Instagram page came by and said that it looked hot.
Nice.
So how about that?
Yeah, look at you.
How about that?
Being all hot.
So I thought that was pretty cool. They share Red Sonja stuff, but because this is adult in nature, they're probably not going to share that. So let's see. We got another comment here. Joseph says, love the show when I can catch it. Keep it up, guys. Super dope.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Probably the first time I've been called super dope. Probably.
No, you've been called super dope before. You think? Yeah.
What do you guys got? What's left? Anything else left to say?
Let me look around. Oh, hey, I found some old sketches of some things.
You
Now
did?
that I thought about it, here's an old self-portrait of myself.
Oh, that's cool, man.
I did this at when I was employed. This was in a meeting
Back in the olden days.
back in the olden days. And
Maybe-
here's another one from when I was employed in a meeting.
Maybe we're learning something about you,
Yeah,
Walt.
maybe we're learning something, Walt. Maybe there's
Yeah.
a reason you.
Because that is a complete and finished
This is a
illustration.
complete
there.
and finished illustration.
Like when I was screwing off in college classes and drawing in the side, they were just sketches. They weren't
And
like
that's-
finished pieces.
That's straight up all ink too.
I'm totally inked and like clean,
Like no pencil involved.
like
That
ready
was
to
just-
go.
Yeah, that's sitting around from sitting around in a meeting, and that's how I took notes every week. Is I
We're
hate
getting
taking
a little
notes.
insight now, Walt.
Yeah, I hate taking notes.
We're starting to see that.
And what was always interesting is I would get asked, so what did I just say? And I would repeat back exactly everything that they said. They were like,
They
"Oh,
thought
so
they
you're-"
were catching you.
Yeah, they thought they were catching me not paying attention. So
It's good stuff, man.
yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Sean, we're going to expect you to show some sketches next week.
Okay.
Yes, Sean.
Anyone else have anything to add? We're going to wrap this up.
Just the usual, May the 4th be with you kind of
Oh
thing.
God, I was hoping I could make it through it without hearing
No,
it.
you weren't going to make it through without hearing it. So
Nope.
it's basically just me saying, "May the Force be with you," but with a lift. So just think of it as that, because I like to talk in lists sometimes. You missed that part of the show earlier on when I was just talking in lists
But-
the whole
but
time.
we-
I miss so much.
But we brought it to you. We brought it to you live. Hey, thanks to Scott and to Sean and to Walt for filling in at all of you filling in for the last minute, because I didn't even know I was going to do this show until about an hour before we did it.
It's all good.
So I think that we did pretty good for not planning this out better. And thanks to everyone else. Thanks to everyone else for dropping by, giving your comments, and watching the show. We deeply appreciate it.
You got to get that last comment.
This one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Prosper,
Okay, bye.
prosper.
Prosper.
Thanks, Steve. Is that what I've got here? Is that it? Okay.
That's
I
it.
don't want to miss it. And I guess that's it. So until next time, this is Dirk Hooper saying dream hard.